Ja Morant, he's the topic of a lot of conversation. Unfortunately, a story of another young black man or athlete being caught just being stupid. he got caught on someone's IG live brandishing a gun. He was recently suspended for this, we thought that he learned his lesson and he's not going to do it again, but unfortunately he has not. But ultimately the blame is on Ja. Ja, many people have said he's very smart, very intelligent, great guy, great teammate, but who's really to blame? Who do we really should point fingers at in terms of Ja Morant's behavior? So let's talk about, who is really the blame, the culprit here in this Ja Morant situation. Before I go into my diatribe that the culprit ultimately is Ja Morant. I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm not trying to absolve him from this. I'm not trying to say he's a victim here. Ultimately, he's the one that is making these decisions. He's making these bad decisions. Maybe it's things that have been done throughout time and no one has got caught, but he is the one that's on IG Live in this situation. He's the one that's putting himself in this place. So I don't want to say he's ultimately not at fault here. We have to learn as a society that we have to start to take accountability for our actions. We love to cry victim. We love to blame the other person. It's my boss's fault. It's my mom's fault. It's the white man's fault. We love to point fingers as to what we're going through. But oftentimes, the reason that we're going through what we're going through is a result of bad decisions. So you cannot control your consequences, but you can control your consequences by making better decisions. And a lot of the things that we're battling now, that's frustrating us now, that we're suffering through now, is a result of bad decision making. It is a result of putting yourself in bad situations. It's a result, and you know what? I shouldn't have gone to that party. I shouldn't have bought that gun. I shouldn't have answered that person's phone call. I knew it was bad. It was bad news, but yet at the end of the day, it was a bad decision. It was something that you should not have been doing. So I'm a big proponent. I'm a big person that loves to put accountability and to lay blame and say, guys, listen, this is this person's fault. They need to make better decisions. Excuse me. Ja Morant's an adult. He's a multimillionaire. He's an athlete. He's been through life. He must make better decisions. He must realize, I can't go on IG Live with a gun on my lap or a gun pointed. I can't go to these places. This is the reason why folks, I will go until proved differently. I will continue to celebrate LeBron James. LeBron James has been in the league for 20 years. He was the first dude that had his high school games televised, right? Over in St. Vincent's in Akron. He was out there having his high school games televised. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. He had all this hype. He was the guy before he was the guy. All respect to MJ. MJ didn't have all these accolades. He was a good basketball player. He went to North Carolina, born in Brooklyn, all that good stuff. But yet, the type of pressure that was on LeBron's back, no one has ever experienced. Not only LeBron was the first pick for his hometown basketball team. He basically didn't have to leave home until he chose to go play for Miami. He was home. So that pressure of bringing his team a title, that pressure of being in the same hoods, in the same spots that he was, that's what he had to experience. But yet, not once has anyone come across any bit of information that says LeBron James has done something like this. Brandishing a gun, being at a party, being in a situation where he has to be suspended. Never. And I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm not saying he's a perfect person. I would not sit there and testify the glories of man, because I know man falls short. So maybe he's done things that we don't know about. But yet, The 20 years he's been on top of his game, the 20 years that he's been under the focal point of media, waiting for him to slip up, he has yet to mess up. In this social media age where folks have cell phones all the time and trying to catch you, TMZ is probably waiting for something to fall on their desk. As of yet, he has had nothing. And that to me adds to his greatness. The fact that he has been able to navigate this social media cell phone age unscathed, where his name still holds value. It means a lot. Not saying he's the only one, but I'm saying that what adds to his greatness is his ability to navigate these times. I think the biggest controversy he had was choosing to go to Miami. Thinking through, and I followed his career forever. I'm a big fan. The only thing I think that he has been guilty of is actually going to Miami and leaving his hometown of Cleveland. So outside of that, in terms of something of this magnitude, he hasn't had it. And that's a testament to his greatness and his discipline. And this is the same thing I think Ja needs. Ja needs to be like, yo, I'm going to cost myself some money. I'm going to tarnish my legacy if I keep doing stupid things, if I keep doing this dumb stuff. So ultimately, we have to put the blame on Ja Morant. He's probably going to get suspended. People are saying 25 games, a whole entire year. I think the hammer's going to come down in order to teach him a lesson and teach others a lesson. I think that he should be upset because the games that he's missing is going to affect his team. He might miss the playoffs now next year because, he's been out of all these games. Like you don't know the repercussions of what he's doing, of a stupid mistake, a stupid decision that he made. But ultimately, again, Ja Morant is at fault because he is the one that decided to make these stupid decisions. But I think we also must lay a big blame on someone else. So Ja Morant, in this incident, he was on IG Live, I believe, with one of his boys, right? They're playing some song. I think it was NBA Youngboy. I don't know who it was, but he was playing some song, going back and forth, blah, 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 blah. And his mans ended up turning the camera to him with a gun in his hand. So how could your friend put you in a crappy position? I think a true friend would be like, yo, Ja, get off the live. Ja, we're not going on live. Or if he knew Ja had the gun on him. So just keep the camera on you. Like, what's the point in putting your mans in a compromising position? And I think the ultimate blame, the ultimate culprit here in this situation has to be the circle of Ja Morant. His friends, his parents, his siblings, all his boys. These people have to hold a level of accountability because, Ja Morant needs me to be his friend, bro. Because if Ja Morant's my boy, my friend, he will not be in those situations. I'll be like, yo, Ja, cut the phone off. Somebody take his phone. Like, it has to be a level of accountability to his friend. This is why my good friend Herman Dolce, I say this every other day. He coined a term, and the term is so accurate in this situation. Audit your circle. The people who are in your inner circle, you must constantly keep tabs on. Not just keep tabs on, evaluate the people in your circle, because these people could be the reason why you elevate, and these people could also be the source of your demise. So you need to learn the value of auditing your circle. You need to have the value of knowing who you call friend, because these people that record these things or allow you to put yourself in these compromising situations, They are at fault. And can I get even deeper? Sometimes that may result in you cutting off family. A lot of these incidents also were tied to his family. There was an incident at a volleyball match where he tried to hop on a court and to get at some kid talking to his sister, like his dad's behavior and all the fights and stuff that's going on. And when when Ja Morant came back, his dad tried to make as if it's the world against Ja, and his son's a victim. I think a lot of times your family can be a source of this drama, could be a reason why you're going through what you're going through, and you got to evaluate your family. Cut off your siblings, cut off your mom, your dad, as difficult as that may sound. But if they're going to prevent you from going into what you're supposed to do, you have to evaluate them. If they're going to have you at this point now labeled as a thug, so Power Abe is probably going to pull. He just had a sneaker drop with Nike. Like, these things are going to kind of affect them. So it's like, yo, Ja, you love playing ball. And let's be real, you're taking care of us. Let us make sure that nothing comes in the way of your bag. Let us make sure that nothing prevents you from doing what you love and being the best basketball player that you are. So we're going to be, I'm not saying that it's okay for his sister to be abused. I'm not saying that. But Josh shouldn't be the guy that's hopping on the court. Like, have you ever watched the movies where they have some kind of lackey and some dude that, yo, I got problems, you take care of that, and the dude will take care of that, and it will have no way to come back to the main guy. That's what may have to happen. By no means am I condoning violence. I believe in walking away. I believe in letting it go. It's not that serious. But if you feel that you have to do something, it shouldn't be Ja. Ja's the cow. He's a cash cow to family. You should make sure that he's good. So what kind of people that's surrounding you that's allowing you to make these stupid decisions and doing all this dumb stuff? What kind of friend sits in a car with you, know you got a burner on you, and allows and turns the camera to you when you got the burner up? And that's your boy. Like, how does that make sense? Yo, Ja, if you're watching, Ja, if you need friends, let's be friends, dog. I got you. I'll make sure you make the right decisions. Many times in our group chats, we talk about this all the time. How, if any one of us makes it, we're gonna protect the person and make sure that they're good. And then anyone that has the possibility of hindering you, being successful and being happy at what you do, that person may have to be like, yo, you're my guy, you're my cousin, but I can't roll with you. We can't go out. We can't travel together because you're going to constantly end up having fights. And that's going to threaten what I do. Forget about money. And it goes to it's just purpose. Ja loves playing ball. Why would I do what I got to do to take away your dream of playing in the NBA? Because best believe, if this happens to Ja one more time, Ja's out the league, bro. All these sponsors and these folks that are out here are saying, yo, we want to make sure we have a proper image. The NBA will cut ties with Ja Morant before it allows all these sponsors to go away. No man is ever greater than the sport. I don't care how popular you are. I don't care how many sneakers you got. I don't care how many folks you got doing the gritty. No man is greater than the sport. And I promise you, the NBA will allow itself to get rid of Ja Morant before it loses sponsors. It reminds me of back in the day when Allen Iverson was really popular, and these sponsors had issues with the braids and the jewelry and the baggy jeans and the baggy t-shirts. And what did the NBA do? And mind you, Allen Iverson was hugely popular. I wasn't a fan of AI, but I respect the guys being one of the greatest scorers ever and one of the biggest influencers to the NBA hip-hop black culture of all time. So I respect and I love AI. I'm not a fan. He ain't part of my top 5, but I respect the guy. But his impact was so huge that the NBA changed the rules to say, hey, going forward on games that if you're injured and you're sitting on the bench, you must start wearing blazers, jackets, shirts, and ties, no jeans, no sneakers. That's the AI rule. You know why? Because sponsors were saying, yo, this guy, I don't want to associate my brand with this type of image. Therefore, I got to take care of it. The same thing, man. It's the same type of behavior we got to be careful of. And if Ja Morant think he's bigger and better than the brand, then he's bugging out. He lost his daggone mind. But then given that fact, why isn't there someone in his circle be like, yo, Ja, stay home, bro. Yo, fam, get off that phone. If Ja gonna brandish his gun, that's cool. That's his business. That's his right. But the issue is the fact that he has it on IG, on his page. So at what point do we sit there and say, yo, his circle is failing him? The Bible says that bad company corrupts good character. Even the Bible says that being around the wrong people is going to affect you. And it's rare where the good person is able to change the bad person. In all likelihood, the bad person is going to drag down the good person. The Bible says bad company corrupts good character. Nowhere where it says good company fixes bad character. The bad company, you hang around in long enough, you sit there and say, he's bringing him down. Because whatever you see, I've never heard him being a jerk, or being bad to reporters, being a bad teammate. I've been watching so much on him lately. Everyone say Ja's a smart guy, a good guy. But at this point, like, do you want to like keep on making excuses for him? Is he really that smart if he continues to surround himself with these people? And also, after his first suspension, I went back to look at that. He says, well, I gotta basically go to therapy and learn how to cope through things, and so I don't get caught with guns, etc., etc. And this lifestyle and blah blah blah. At what point does he say, you know what, I gotta evaluate everything, including those surrounding me? At what point does his pops be like, yo, Ja, you're wildin'. Ja, you're wildin', what are you doing? At what point do you sit here and say, yo, what's going on? Like, at what point do you sit here and be like, yo, nah, Ja, come on. Let's move out the hood. Let's get out of here. Let's move out. At what point? You have to. And as his friend, are you really his friend if you're allowing him to put himself in these bad positions? Is it a jealousy thing where he's like, you know what? Worst case scenario, Ja, I ruined Ja's career, and we're back at that same spot we were before. Like, evaluate your friendships. And it's not just for Ja, it's a lesson for us all. If you want to be successful, there's going to be a point in your life where you're going to have to evaluate and eventually lose some friends. And the good thing about it in God, it happens organically. That as you evolve, they'll be like, oh, she's changed. Oh, he's fake. Oh, now he can't answer my calls. And gradually they'll stop talking to you. Gradually you'll find out they blocked you. It's because you're going higher and they can't handle that. The narrative changes about, oh my God, why I invited him to my party, he can't go anymore. I'm busy. As you can see on my Instagram page, I got a lot going on. So instead of celebrating that, you want to hate on that. And I should call you my friend. Come on. And you want to slide in my DM for free advice because we're cool. Stop it. So at what point do you sit there and evaluate your friendships? At one point do you sit here and say, you know what? This person is not where I want to go. This person is not where I want to be in the future. So you have to get to that point when you evaluate your friendship, because I think in this story, and I pray that it does not end badly, where Ja is not playing the game anymore, where Ja loses all this sponsorship money and all this opportunity. Like, it's to the point now, I have two sons. My 4-year-old Micah is a huge Ja Morant fan. Like, that's his favorite basketball player. And he's like, yo, I want a Ja Morant jersey. I'm like, ugh. I don't know about that. And it's not saying that you have to be perfect, but the images and stuff that he's doing, if it continues this way, it's not going to end well. Like I said in the beginning, the ultimate blame is him. But at what point does he sit there and be like, yo, Ja, you gotta do better, fam. At what point do we sit here and say, you know what, we gotta also point fingers to his circle? That if his parents can't do it, obviously I don't think his parents could do it because they're the one dragging him in some stuff. Then it gotta be somebody in his circle. Because this cannot continue, because it'll be sad for us to say, yo, this guy Ja Morant could have been a great basketball player, an all-time great. But look, now he's out the league. Now he's playing in China because of bad decisions. And those friends that are putting you on IG Live, those friends who are talking about you and saying you've changed, will love to see you come right back to them. Back on the corner, back in that same level, back struggling. So use this as a lesson to look at your circle. Like, you know, we all have friends. We also have an inner circle. The inner circle should be the one that's sitting here that has the most influence to you and most access to you. Not saying that they're better, but they should be the one that you trust to cover you, to encourage you, to check you. You see, our problem is the reason why we ain't got no friends, because we don't want folks to tell the truth about ourselves. As soon as somebody tells us about ourselves, then they hate us, they got an issue, they got a problem. But the one thing that I've learned, the person that tells you the truth loves you the most. The one that said, and that's my problem. Like, I tell people the truth, knowing they may get mad at me, but I'd rather tell them the truth than to see them walking down into an empty hole. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to express myself and tell you out of love. My heart, you never have to check. But the fake friends are the ones seeing you doing some dumb stuff, but in a side chat talking about you. Like, yo, this dude's stupid. A real friend argues you to death saying like, yo, I know you're going to talk bad about me. I know you're going to be mad at me for a little while, but I'm going to tell you the truth. You're bugging. Like, what are you posting out here, fam? Like, you got a whole wife, a whole family. What are you doing? I thought you wanna be a doctor. Why are you out here twerking on tables, fam? That's a friend. But we get that feedback, this person's a hater. Bro, I always tell folks, it's easy for me to mind my business. It's much easier and more popular. But I'm gonna challenge you and tell you the truth because I love you and I want you to do better. There's not a jealous bone in my body. I want everybody to eat. I want everybody to be millionaires. So why would I prevent you? But me checking you and telling you the truth right now, because I want you to do better. So it's easy to sit there and say, you know what? I want my business, ain't my life, ain't my family, ain't my money, MYOB. But at the end of the day, is that really the way you want to go on? And see your man's out there doing something crazy and falling and messing up? And I think that's who Ja Morant has around him. A bunch of yes men and a bunch of snakes that say, you know, I don't mind to see him fall, because if he fall, he's back on the corner with me. Not knowing that you could help this man pursue his dream, be an NBA legend. Dude has enough talent to be a legend. Like, if you ask any of my Knicks friends, I wanted Ja Morant in that draft above Zion, above anybody. And I was mad we fell out the top 3. The top 2, we had to settle for RJ Barrett. So I respect it. The dude has it. But then all that don't matter if you have the wrong people around you. You cannot give birth to your purpose in the wrong environment. So it's like, you see how you go into the OR when you are ready to give birth, or go to L&D ready to give birth. One thing that they do, they have to sanitize the environment. The reason why they sanitize the environment, because they understand that if you give birth in an affected environment, it would infect your child. The same thing with our purpose. If you give birth to your purpose in the wrong environment, it can infect what God has put inside of you. So in order for you to give birth, God oftentimes requires you to change your environment, because that environment, if it's infected, it can corrupt and affect negatively your purpose. This is why sometimes folks give birth to purpose, and it dies after a while. It was pushed out in the wrong environment. So Ja needs to learn the importance of having the right environment, because he has the gift. He can walk into purpose, but yet in the wrong environment, it means nothing. It won't last. So I wanna just encourage you that's watching to audit your circle. I can't trademark that. I can't copyright that. My friend Herman Dolce says this all the time. He has t-shirts for it. And it's true. Audit your circle. Audit those who are around you, because sometimes there'll be a hindrance in doing what God has called you to do. So I pray that this blessed you. You learn from it. You see my heart. Don't forget to like, subscribe, download. Give me some feedback. Thank you for your time. God bless you. Peace.